I think it's an inspirational tone. You can add it to anything. You can add it to Rhodes. You can add it to synth pads. You can really crush it if you want to. Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be looking at making a synth pad effects chain. First, here is what it sounds like just on a pad. This is what it sounds like now if you turn the effects chain off. It's really faint and kind of quiet. It kind of sounds like an organ. Each of these parameters that I wanted to use, I mapped to a macro at the front. After the high pass, I have a little bass bump. This one here is also a high pass, but I have the resonance mapped. So you can really bring out like what part of the chord you want to accentuate. In conjunction with the high pass sounds really cool. I don't know where that comes from. It kind of doesn't make sense to me because you're like, well, I'm cutting everything from 1.8 kilohertz up. Listen to that. Really cool. You're cutting everything from 1.8 kilohertz up, but I guess because you're boosting the resonance afterwards in the chain, like you might just be like adding something back that's not quite there. Let me see if I reverse the order if it does the same thing. Really cool. So you can bring out different things and kind of simulate feedback that way, which I really enjoy. So there I just kind of tuned it by ear, but you can see the bass bumps at 131 hertz. If we look over here at C, that's 131. That's why it kind of like came out really cool and resonant right there. After this, I have a tal chorus, and the tal chorus effects parameters that I really cared about were the width. You can see I'm controlling that with this macro down here, and also the stereo dry wet. And I kind of like to just have it sort of subtle. I don't like it all the way wet. Yeah. The next thing here is we have our little radiator, and I just have the heat like totally maxed out, but I have the dry wet very low. So the heat mix is only at about 3. It kind of gets really scratchy if you do too much. You could obviously turn the heat down. And just sort of add how much you want. But for the sake of space here, since I'm using Ableton Live 9 that doesn't allow 16 macros, I had to sort of limit myself to just these 8 macros, like which ones I want to control. And I really focused on just controlling the mix because, yeah, you can kind of just mix in the distortion in parallel. After that, we've got this tape mellowify again. And this one here has a bunch of different settings that you can tweak between. I'm on like the fat analog preset, I guess. You can change through them and get different types of tape characteristics. Kind of make it degraded and have a lot of wear. This is if you want to hear the reel-to-reel sort of clicking or running. Next in the chain, I have bit reduction just on soft at about 1.9 downsampling. That adds some like really cool aliasing as if it was like a lousy MP3. Here it is 100% wet. Pretty insane. This you want to keep subtle as well. Over here we have erosion run through dry wet as well. On the dry chain we have nothing, and on the wet chain we have erosion, and so we can blend between them. Yeah, and you can hear that it gets really aggressive really fast and also like kind of gross. So you really just want to dial in just a little bit. Put two things in an audio effect rack together and then blend between them. And then lastly, I just have the output gain controlled because right now it's like pretty loud. I usually like to keep my keys around like -12. So I use the output gain just to sort of get it right around where I want it to so that it's easier to mix afterwards. It's just like crazy loud. I kind of like that kind of sparkly top end it gives it. Sounds really great on basically any instrument. And just for your reference, I also have the same synth pad effects just thrown on this Scarby Mark 1. This is in Contact. This is also free through like Complete Select, I believe, and that's run through new VHS synth pad effects. The only thing I did is I turned off the chorus. So here it is with the chain on. Here's with the chorus on. But again, chorus off, and then here it is just dry. And then if you add back the effects, me way more in a space and makes me want to actually play that thing than play it raw or whatever, and then you have to add the effects after. Like, I'm just not as inspired by it. So if I start off with a tone that I find really inspiring, it just kind of like puts you in a different headspace.